We are in the middle of a brawl in Central Park, likely near the Washington Square Arch given the architecture. Spider-Man is in a classic dynamic pose, dodging attacks from multiple angles. We've got the Sinister Six, or at least a version of them, on the attack. You can see Sandman's giant fist, Electro's lightning, the Vulture swooping in, Hobgoblin on his glider, and Mysterio casting illusions. The art here is vibrant and kinetic. The narrative captions set up the central theme of this specific fight: optics. Spidey is worried about how this looks. He's trying to be the masked Marvel, casually bantering while fighting for his life, because in New York, image is everything. It's a great visual representation of Peter's internal monologue, the constant struggle to look cool while being terrified. The fight continues, and Spidey decides to take control of the narrative. He targets Mysterio, the master of illusions, which is fitting since he's worried about optics. We get a classic web shot right to Mysterio's right hand. Spidey then snatches the device he is wearing, effectively making Mysterio vulnerable. The situation here emphasizes the speed and fluidity of Spider-Man's movements as he dismantles his power. Spidey teases Mysterio by playing with this power glove and turns the Sinister Six into 69, including all his enemies. It's an army packed with villains: Dr. Octopus, Rhino, Kraven, Lizard, Scorpion, Venom, Carnage, Black Cat, and dozens of D-list villains filling the background. It's a Where's Waldo of Spider-Man's rogues gallery. The sheer scale is impressive, showing just how many enemies Peter has made over the years. He then switches all of them into only one enemy, Mysterio alone. Now Spidey is focusing on Mysterio again, removing the army behind him. Now we can focus on the specific impacts. Spidey is quipping about hockey legends while pulling Mysterio's cape over his head like a jersey in a fight. It's a hilarious physical comedy beat amidst the chaos. But then disaster strikes. As Spidey lands a punch, he freezes. The action stops. In the aftermath, Spidey is standing over a defeated Mysterio, but he's holding a very specific pose, covering his backside with a piece of debris or just his hand. He's handing Mysterio's phone to a police officer, trying to wrap up the scene quickly. The officer and the crowd aren't looking at the defeated villain. They are looking at Spidey's rear end. The dialogue reveals the horror. Mysterio spanked his. Trailing off as the crowd realizes Spider-Man has torn his pants. The optics theme comes full circle. He wins the fight, but he loses the PR war because everyone is laughing at his exposed underwear. Spider-Man is swinging away, but he's not doing his usual graceful arcs. He's curled up in a ball, desperately trying to hide the tear in his costume. The bystanders are pointing and laughing. Spidey thinks that NYU students are only a thread or two away from seeing my web slinger, a double entendre that highlights Peter's mortification. This is the quintessential Spider-Man moment, saving the city but suffering a personal humiliation that ruins his day. He realizes he needs help and decides to visit a friend nearby who lives in the village, a very specific magical friend. Spidey arrives at the Sanctum Sanctorum, the home of Dr. Strange. The contrast between the mundane street and the mystical mansion is always fun. Spidey is asking for assistance, pun intended. Inside, we see Dr. Strange floating in a meditation pose, surrounded by glowing magical mandalas. Spidey is standing awkwardly with his back to the wall, refusing to turn around. Strange diagnoses him with pink eye if he keeps using his mask that way, but then gets to the real issue: the tear in the seat of his costume. Peter explains he can't just web it up because it would look like a fanny pack, proving that even superheroes are slaves to fashion trends. This page is a visual treat, blending the mundane with the mystical. Strange is dealing with a torn dimension caused by the dread Dormammu's sister Umar, while Peter is complaining about torn pants. The juxtaposition is hilarious. Strange is floating through shattered realities, and Peter is just standing there asking for magical tracksuit pants. Strange, being the Sorcerer Supreme, refuses to use cosmic magic for tailoring. Instead, he directs Peter to someone who deals in sartorial science rather than ancient arts. It's a great way to pass the baton to the next cameo and keeps the story moving from magic to science. Spidey heads to the Baxter Building. He tries to get Dr. Richards' attention by tapping on the window, but gets no response. So he does the pop-in, which is immediately met with a flame on, and it's clobberin' time. The Thing and Human Torch attack first and ask questions later. It highlights the danger of surprising a superhero team, even if you are an ally. Spidey is dodging for his life, lamenting that this is exactly why he hates dropping by unannounced. The fight spills inside, and we see why the FF are on edge. They aren't just training, they are fighting a villain, Psycho Man. The microscopic villain is manipulating their emotions, turning them against each other or making them hyper-aggressive. Sue Storm is shouting at Reed to fight your emotions. Spidey swings right into the middle of this chaos. Spidey realizes he's walked into a family feud amplified by mind control. Spidey inadvertently saves the day. His sudden arrival and the subsequent confusion break Psycho Man's hold, or at least distract the FF long enough for them to regain their senses. We see the aftermath. Psycho Man is defeated and tiny, and the FF are apologizing. Spidey, ever the gracious guest and desperate for pants, brushes it off. But the visual gag returns. Spidey is standing with his back to a wall or a mirror, hiding his shame while talking to the first family of Marvel. He explains he's there for help, leading to a joke about being the thirsty neighborhood Spider-Man because of his desperation. Reed Richards, ever the scientist, is fascinated by the problem. He's analyzing Spidey's suit material. He notes that Peter uses commercially available thread, which is essentially spandex and polyester. Reed points out the flaw. Spidey is in battles that last hours, fighting gods and monsters, yet he's wearing gym clothes. It's a great power, great responsibility lecture, but about fabric durability. The art shows the FF looking at Spidey with a mix of pity and scientific curiosity. Reed invites Peter to his lab to solve the problem once and for all. We get a deep dive into Marvel lore here. Reed explains the history of the Fantastic Four's costumes. He talks about the unique challenges of their powers, stretching, flaming on, turning invisible, and how regular fabric couldn't handle it. This leads to his invention of unstable molecules. The page shows the high-tech lab of the Baxter Building with robotic arms and 3D fabricators. Reed scans Spidey without asking, which is very Reed Richards, and prepares to print a new suit. The suit is ready. It looks like a standard Spider-Man suit, but it's laid out flat, waiting to cure. Peter makes a joke about Reed's tailor being so swift. Peter changes into it, and we see the transformation. The suit fits perfectly. Reed explains the properties. It's not indestructible, but it adapts. It won't stop a bullet, but it won't tear when Spidey does a high kick or gets grazed by a pumpkin bomb. This is a massive upgrade for Peter, moving him from homemade tech to top-tier superhero gear. We cut to a montage of Spidey testing the new suit, and who better to test durability against than Carnage? Carnage is slashing and tearing, his symbiote tendrils forming axes and blades. But Spidey is moving fluidly, and more importantly, his suit is holding up. This time, the spider stays intact. The suit withstands the slashing that would have normally left Peter half naked. It's a triumphant moment of competence and preparedness. We see a smiling Reed Richards holding a box of the product, with Spidey fighting Carnage in the background. It breaks the fourth wall, acknowledging that this entire story is brought to you by the concept of better superhero tailoring. It's a funny, charming way to end the story, celebrating the weird science of the Marvel Universe.